Britney Spears has once again set the internet on fire, this time with some raw and brutally honest words about her marriage to Sam Asghari, a relationship she now calls a fake distraction. And trust me, the fallout from this confession has been absolutely wild, with Sam himself rushing to defend their love, even as Britney insists that what they had was never quite what it seemed. So let's dive into the mess, because this story has everything: heartbreak, Instagram confessions, shade at Kevin Federline, and the ongoing saga of Britney trying to reclaim her own voice after years of chaos. Buckle up, because this is one of those celebrity dramas where the more you look, the more it feels like a soap opera unfolding in real time. So here's the tea. Britney Spears shocked fans with an Instagram post where she admitted that her marriage to Sam Asghari, the man who stood by her during her conservatorship battle, who posed as her arm candy on red carpets, who once was described as her rock, was in fact something she now sees as a coping mechanism. In her own words, it almost felt like a fake distraction, a way for her to deflect from the unimaginable pain of being estranged from her sons, Sean and Jaden. Britney said the hardest years of her life were those 3 years when she was cut off from contacting her boys, and that her so-called survival strategy was denial, endless tears, and throwing herself into this marriage that she now suggests never truly filled the void inside her. And the way she worded it, almost casually, but with that brutal honesty we've come to expect from her Instagram captions, had fans gasping. It was like she ripped the bandage off and admitted that her fairy tale wedding was just smoke and mirrors, hiding the heartbreak. But if Britney was pouring out her truth, Sam Asghari clearly wasn't about to let the world think their relationship was fake. Through his rep, Sam told People magazine that their marriage was very real to him. He reminded everyone that even if the wedding itself lasted just a year, he and Britney were together for 7 years in total. He said he loved her, still has love for her, and will always wish her the best. Now, some might see this as sweet, a man trying to take the high road, defending the memory of what they shared. But others are calling it PR spin, with Sam desperately trying to hold on to his image as the supportive ex. Let's be real here. When a global pop icon calls your marriage a distraction, that stings. And Sam knows that his identity, his fame, and his opportunities are forever tied to Britney. He may not want to admit it, but without Britney Spears, would anyone even be asking him for comment right now? Britney's words also carry extra weight because of the context. In her post, she reflected not only on the pain of losing contact with her sons, but also on the twisted environment she felt trapped in, a house full of trauma and abuse, where even eating food felt like a revelation once she began to heal. She described feeling hungry again, like a child, like she was rediscovering life for the very first time. It's heartbreaking, but also powerful. This idea of Britney finding herself again after decades of being controlled, scrutinized, and silenced. And then you layer on top of that her admission that her marriage to Sam, which the media painted as her happily ever after escaping conservatorship, wasn't what it looked like, and suddenly the fairy tale crumbles. For her fans who celebrated that June 2022 wedding like it was proof Britney had finally found peace, this revelation is a gut punch. Now, let's not forget the timeline. Britney met Sam back in 2016 on the set of her Slumber Party music video, where he played her love interest. Fans loved their chemistry, and soon enough, the two were dating publicly. By 2017, they were a regular fixture on each other's Instagram feeds, working out together, traveling, and giving the image of a healthy, happy couple. Sam was painted as the loyal boyfriend standing by Britney's side during the darkest days of her conservatorship. And in 2021, when the world was shocked by the documentary Framing Britney Spears, he came out swinging in her defense, calling out her father Jamie Spears and declaring that he wanted nothing but the best for his better half. It was the kind of public loyalty that made fans root for him. Now, fast forward to 2021 and 2022, and the engagement, then the wedding, felt like the natural happy ending. Britney testified in court that she wanted to be free to marry and have a baby, and when she finally got engaged to Sam, it felt like the universe was aligning. Their wedding in June 2022 was star-studded, glamorous, and symbolic. Britney finally marrying on her own terms. But as we now know, behind the glitz, Britney was still suffering, still grieving her separation from her kids, and still processing years of trauma. The marriage lasted just 14 months before Sam filed for divorce in August 2023, citing irreconcilable differences. By May 2024, the divorce was finalized, and Britney's supposed fresh start was over almost as quickly as it began. But here's where things get even messier. While Britney is out here calling the marriage a fake distraction, Sam is not only defending their love, but also throwing shade at another Britney ex, Kevin Federline. Let's talk about that for a second because it's almost too juicy. Kevin Federline, the backup dancer turned ex-husband turned longtime recipient of Britney's child support checks, has announced he's writing a tell-all memoir. And Sam couldn't resist roasting him. He called Kevin a professional father and said his book would be the first to teach people how to be a professional father. Savage, right? It's a bold move considering Kevin has custody history with Britney's sons and has often been portrayed as the more stable parent during Britney's darkest years. Sam shading him publicly feels like he's trying to secure his spot as the classier ex, while Kevin cashes in on Britney's name yet again. But let's be real here. Sam himself has benefited from being Britney's partner and now her ex. So it's hard not to see this as a pot meat kettle situation. And this brings us back to Britney herself, because while the men in her life bicker or defend or throw shade, Britney is out here bearing her soul to the world. She admits to feeling broken, estranged from her kids, trying to heal, rediscovering herself, and yes, even eating ice cream like it's the first time in her life. Some people find her Instagram posts chaotic, even worrying, but others see them as her finally being unfiltered after decades of censorship. Whether you agree with her choices or not, one thing is clear. Britney is still figuring out how to live on her own terms, and she's not afraid to shatter the illusions people once held about her. Now, here's my opinion. Britney calling the marriage a fake distraction doesn't necessarily mean she never loved Sam. I think she did, in her way. But when you're carrying that much pain, losing contact with your kids, dealing with abuse, fighting to reclaim your life, sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes you cling to someone because they represent safety or escape or just a momentary shield from the storm. To Britney, the marriage may now feel like a distraction because it didn't heal her wounds. But that doesn't erase the fact that at the time, Sam probably did give her comfort, even if it wasn't the kind of love story that could last. And Sam, for his part, probably did love her, but also benefited from the fame and platform their relationship gave him. It's complicated, it's messy, and it's real life, just magnified under the brightest spotlight in pop culture. The real tragedy here isn't that the marriage failed. It's that Britney still can't seem to escape the cycle of being defined by the men in her life. Kevin Federline is writing his memoir, Sam is defending their love and shading Kevin, and meanwhile, Britney is just trying to say her piece and move on. She deserves peace, stability, and happiness that isn't tied to defending her truth against exes in the press. But as long as her name sells headlines, and as long as the public craves this drama, she may never get that privacy. And yet, Britney Spears is still standing. Despite everything, the conservatorship, the custody battles, the failed marriages, the betrayals, she is still out here posting, dancing, speaking, and surviving. Some might roll their eyes at her captions, but others see a woman who refuses to be silenced anymore. And maybe, just maybe, her calling her marriage to Sam a fake distraction is her way of reclaiming her narrative once again. Because let's face it, Britney Spears has lived through more chaos than most celebrities combined, and if she wants to spill the tea on her own terms, she has earned that right. So what do we make of this? Britney says her marriage to Sam was a fake distraction. Sam insists it was real love. Kevin is about to profit off Britney's name yet again. And the fans, they're left trying to piece together what was real, what was fake, and what was just another chapter in the endless saga of Britney Spears. But one thing is certain. The pop princess turned survivor continues to dominate headlines, even when she's simply speaking her truth on Instagram. And whether you love her, doubt her, or worry for her, you can't look away. Britney Spears will always be the story, and this latest revelation is just proof that her life, for better or worse, remains one of the most fascinating and heartbreaking in pop culture history.